heroes. Some misunderstood sannyasis, bent on doing good to others, moved from village to village, disseminating education and seeking various ways to better the condition of all, down to the Chandala, through oral teachings and by means of lamps, cameras, globes and such accessories. Can that bring forth good in time? If a mountain does not come to Muhammad, Muhammad must come to the mountain. We, as a nation, have lost our individuality. We have to give back to the nation its lost individuality and raise the masses. To effect these, first we need men. Haribai, I do not know what your religion is, but my heart has expanded. I do not take into consideration whether people accept his name or not. But I am ready to lay down my life to help his teachings, his life, and his message spread all over the world. The Parliament of Religion is being organized for this. My mind tells me so. You will see to verify and notice to gate. I am the first monk to come over to these Western countries. It is the first time in the history of the world that a Hindu monk has crossed the ocean. It is the weak heart that has driven me out of India to seek some help for those in our love. And here I am. The expense I'm bound to run into here is our food. On an average, it costs me £1 a day. A cigar costs 8 annas of our money. All rosy ideas before starting have melted. And I have now against possibly a treating it with a movie exhibition at a reasonable rate. Also, a trip to Ferry Wheel by a skate house, Eastern Norway. Japanese bamboo house. It's only $50 per day, sir. You are from Boston? Okay, sir. See you soon. Excuse me. Yes. Can I get a room? No room. Why? But his excellency, I must stick to my guns. Life or death. If I am to live longer here, my quaint dress, people gather by dress myself in a long black coat and keep a red robe and turban to wear when I lecture. All these must be borne. Hooting in the streets on account of my green dress. Cold. These are what I have to fight against. He's going to die. But my dear bone, no great things were ever done without great labor. I may perish of cold or hunger in this land. I have traveled 12 years with this load in my heart and this idea in my mind. I have gone from door to door of the so-called rich and great. With a bleeding heart, I have traveled half the world to this strange land, seeking help. On the morning of the opening of the Parliament, we all assembled in a building called the Art Palace. There was a grand procession and we were all marshaled to the platform. Imagine a hall below and a huge gallery above, packed with 6,000 or 7,000 men and women representing the best culture of the country. And on the platform, learned men of all the nations of the earth. And I, who never spoke in public in my life, to address this august assembly.
All men have a common creator and consequently.
It was opened in great form with music and ceremony and speeches. I was so nervous that I couldn't venture to speak in the morning. Of course, my heart was fluttering and my tongue nearly dry up. Chakravarti of Theosophy made a nice speech. Mazumdar of Brahmo Samaj, a nicer one. And they were much applauded. They were all prepared and came with ready-made speeches. I was a fool and had none. Dr. Burrows introduced me. I bowed down to Devi Saraswati and stepped up.
Sisters and brothers of America,
I'm definitely a pro and also 2 minutes smaller.
it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of the monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of all religions. And I thank you in the name of millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. My thanks also to some of the speakers on this platform who represent delegates from the Orient have told you that these men from far-off nations may well claim the honor of bearing to different lands the idea of toleration. I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. I will quote to you, my brethren, a few lines from a hymn which I remember to have repeated from my earliest childhood. which is every day repeated by millions of human beings, as different streams having their sources in different places, all mingle their water in the sea. So, O Lord, the different paths which men take through different tendencies, variance though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to. I fervently hope that the bell that tolled in honor of this convention may be the end help of all fanaticism, of all persecution with the sword or with the pen, and of all uncharitable feelings between persons wending their way to the same goal.
When it was finished, I sat down almost exhausted with emotion. All the newspapers announced that my speech was negative, and I became known to the whole of America. And too, with what effect? I may quote to you from a different newspapers and magazines in earlier time. I need not be self-conceited to you, but to you, in confidence, I'm bound to say, because of your life, that no human made such an impression in America. But eloquent, as were many of the great speeches, no one has well expressed the spirit of the Parliament and its limitations as the one. His culture, his eloquence, and his fascinating personality have given us a new idea of Hindu civilization. His fine, intelligent face and his deep musical voice, prepossessing one at once in his favor, he speaks without notes, presenting his facts and conclusions with the greatest art and Vivekanand is undoubtedly a great figure in the Parliament of Nations. After hearing him, we feel how foolish it is to send missionaries to this learned nation. Herald, the greatest newspaper here, even the most bigoted ones admitted that this man, with his handsome face and magnetic presence, is undoubtedly the most prominent figure in the Parliament, etc., etc. Now, after all these complaints, do you think that it was worthwhile to send a sannyasi to America? I am now out of want. Many of the handsomest houses in this city are open to me. If I will, live here all my life in the greatest luxury. But I am a sannyasi. And India, with all thy faults, I love thee. fasted for years and years so that I would be born. At my birth, my father had a horoscope taken of my life, but would never tell me what it was. I know that it was consciously that my mother brought me to the world to be what I am. The love which my mother gave me has made me what I am. And I owe a debt to her that I can never repay. How many times have I seen my mother going to take her first meal when it was 2 o'clock, and someone would come and knock on the door and say, and there would be no other food in the house except what was for my mother. She would give that to him brilliantly and wait for her home. This was her life, and she liked it. I have such a memory. When I was 2 years old, I used to play with my psyche as being my clothed in ashes and coffee. When a son came to bed, they used to lock me upstairs to prevent my giving away to Shiva. I felt also this. And for some mischief I had done, I had to be sent away from Shiva. No wonder my family praised my feeling. And when I was naughty, they would say, Shiva, Shiva, so many austerities, and yet Shiva sent me this demon of a good soul. And then when I was rebellious, they would empty a can of water over me saying Shiva, Shiva. And then I will be all right. Always. Always. Even now, when I feel mischievous, that word keeps me straight. Shiva. Shiva.
तातलिया नाचे भोला बम बम बाजे गाला तातलिया नाचे भोला
Shiva. Shiva. It is a matter of astonishment that this happened every night for a long time. As soon as I went to bed, 2 ideas appeared before me, since I had reached my youth. One vision presented me as a man of endless wealth and prosperity, innumerable servants and dependents, high rank and dignity, great pomp and power. I certainly felt that I had the power to achieve this. The next moment, I felt as if I had given up everything of the world and was leading a life of renunciate, putting on a loincloth, eating whatever was available without any effort, sleeping under the trees, and solely depending on God's will. These two pictures, according to which I could mold my life, arose in my mind. But the latter would grip my mind deeply. Some years ago, when I visited my home my father had died, I came across a chart among some papers in my mother's possession and saw from it that I was destined to become a mortal on the face of the earth. I studied hard for 12 years and became a graduate of Calcutta University. At the beginning of this 19th century, it was feared that religion was at an end. Under the tremendous sledgehammer blows of scientific research, old superstitions were crumbling away like masks in porcelain. Those to whom religion meant only a bundle of creeds, and meaningless ceremonial were in his bed. This skepticism reached me, and for a time I felt as if I must give up all hopes of religion. In the city of Calcutta, I wandered from place to place in search of religion. And everywhere I asked the lecturer, after hearing a very big lecture, Sir, have you seen God? The man was taken aback at the idea of seeing God. And the only man who said, I have, was Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. হ্যাঁ, আমি সত্যদর্শন করেছি। ঠিক যেমন তোমাকে so, but he said, I will put you in the way of seeing him too. This man came to live near Calcutta, the capital of India, the most important university town in our country, which was sending out skeptics and agnostics by the hundreds every year. This old man was peculiar. He didn't go much after intellectual scholarship, scarcely studied books. But when he was a boy, he was seized with this tremendous idea of getting truth direct. He first started by studying his own religion. And then he got the idea that he must get the truth of other religions. And with that idea, he joined all the sects, one after another. He would eat and dress like the people he wanted to understand, take their initiation, and use their language. One must learn, he said, to put oneself in another man's soul. And this was his own. No one ever before in India had become Christian and Mohammedan and a Vaishnava by turn. And when he had gone through with all that, he came to the conclusion that they were all good. They're all in so many ways leading to the same goal. Long before the idea of universal religion and brotherly feelings between sects were discussed and mooted in any country in the world, here had been a living man whose whole life was a parliament of religion. Many of these university men, skeptics, agnostics, used to come and listen to him. I went to hear him. Yes, it was the temple garden at Dakshineshwar, in his own room. He looked like an ordinary man, but nothing remarkable about him.
সংসার বিদেশে বিদেশির বেশে ভ্রম কেন অকারণে মন চলো নিজ নিকেতনে বিষয় পঞ্চক আর ভূতক বিষয় পঞ্চক আর ভূতগণ সব তোর পর কেউ নয় আপন বড় প্রেমে কেন হয়ে অচেতন ভুলিছে আপন
He went into samadhi.
মন চলো নিজ নিকেতনে
Well, I sang the song, but shortly after, he suddenly rose and taking me by hand, led me to the northern veranda. Shutting the door behind him, he stood before me and began to address me with folded hands. And to my utter surprise, he began to shed profuse tears of joy as he held my hand and addressing me most tenderly as one long familiar to me.
আমি জানি
Lord, I know you are the ancient sage Nara, the incarnation of Narayana, born on earth to remove the miseries of mankind. And
জানি আমি তো তুমি সেই পুরাতন ঋষি নররূপ নারায়ণ
I thought you had taken a back by his conduct.
জীবের দুর্গতি নিবারণ করতে পুনরায় শরীর ধারণ করছ
Who is this man whom I've come to see? He must be stark mad. Why, I'm just the son of Vishwanath Datta, and yet he dares to address me thus. I returned to my friends. I sat and watched him. There was nothing wrong with his words, actions, or behavior towards others.
জ্ঞান আলোকে নরেন কেমন চল চল করছে আচ্ছা নরেন তুই কি ঘুমোবার আগে একটা জ্যোতি দেখিস বাহ সব মিলে যাচ্ছে এ ধ্যান জন্ম থেকেই ধ্যান সিদ্ধ সব মিলে যাচ্ছে
He may be a madman, but only the fortunate few can have such renunciation. Even if insane, this holy man is the holiest of the holy, a true saint. And for that alone, he deserves the reverent homage of the mankind.
বলো তুমি শীঘ্র একদিন এখানে আমার কাছে একাকী আসবে
With such conflicting thoughts, I bowed before him and begged leave to without carrying back. For the first time, I had seen a man who dared say that he saw God, and that religion was a reality to be felt. All skepticism was brushed aside. I began to go to that man day after day, and I actually saw that religion could be given. My master used to say, religion can be taken and given more tangibly, more than anything else in the world. Master. My master. At first, I did not accept most of what the master said. Once I said to him, the forms of God and things like that which you see in your vision are all fragments of your imagination. I did not believe it. What did he said? Some people call me God. Let 1,000 people call you God, but I shall certainly not call you God as long as I know it to be true. Then why do you come here? I come here to see you, not to listen to you. He was very much pleased. Ramakrishna came to teach the religion of today. Constructive, not destructive. He had to go afresh to nature to ask for facts. And he got scientific religion, which never said believe, but see. And they were not peculiar to him. Nor did he claim that they were. But I don't find a marvelous miracle than the way this mad Brahmin used to
to handle human minds like lumps of clay, breaking, molding, and remolding them at ease, and filling them with ideas by a mere touch. I cannot think or talk of Sri Ramakrishna without being overwhelmed. How shall I speak of him? His love for me. Once we spoke of our revealed books, of the Vedas, of the Bible, of Quran. At the close of our talk, this old man asked me to go to the table and pick up a book.
আচ্ছা মেঝের উপরে ওই বইটা নে না না I
It
don't.
was a book, among other things, which contained the forecast of the rainfall during the year.
আচ্ছা এবার পর আগুনের মেঘ
The quantity of rain that was to fall.
সেদিন ঝড় বৃষ্টি হয় হ্যাঁ? যদি বলছে পাউসে করি হয় তুষি যদি বলছে মাঘের শেষ ধন্য রাজা অন্য দেশ হ্যাঁ এবার
It
ওটাকে
obtained
ভালো করে নিলাম
and squeezed the book.
ভালো করে নিলাম
And it so. And he said, "Why, my boy, not a drop of water comes out. Until the water comes out, it is all book."
ধর্ম যদি তোকে ভগবানই না চেনাবো তবে
So until your religion makes you realize God, it is useless.
তারা হলো
He who studies books for religion reminds one of the fables of the ass which carried a heavy load of sugar on its back but did not know the sweetness of it.
আর জানে না কি ও দাদা
Then came a terrible time. To me came such a misfortune. My father died, and at that time we were left poor. Even before the period of mourning was over, I had to go about in search of a job. Starving, barefooted. I wandered from office to office with an application in hand. But everywhere I went, the door was slammed in my face. This first contact with reality convinced me that unselfish sympathy is a rarity in the world. There is no place for the weak, the poor, and the destitute. One day, weary and footsore, I sat down in the shade of Octoloni Monument on the Maidan. A friend or two were kneeling.
কি হলো
One of them sang by the way of consoling me.
আরে নরেন উঠ উঠ দেখ বহিছে কৃপা ঘন ব্রহ্মনি পবনে
Will you please stop that song? Such fancies may be pleasing to those who are born with a silver spoon in their mouth and have no starving relatives at home. Yes, there was a time when I too thought like that. But today, before the hard facts of life, it seems like grim mockery. Sometimes when I found that there was not enough provision for my family and my purse was empty, I would pretend to my mother that I had an invitation to dine out and remain practically without food. Out of self-respect, I couldn't disclose the facts to the others or the agony of those days. I was living in hell. In spite of all these troubles, however, I never lost faith in the existence of God.
तुझसे
of His divine mercy. Every morning, taking His name, I got up and went out in search of a job. One day, my mother heard me and said, "Peter,
চুপ কর ছড়া, ছেলেবেলা থেকে খালি ভগবান ভগবান।
hush, you fool. You have been crying yourself hoarse for God from your childhood, and what has He done for you?" I was stunned. Doubt crossed my mind. Does God really exist? If so, does He really hear the fervent prayers of man? Then why is there no response to my passionate appeals? I was extremely annoyed with God. That was also the most opportune moment for doubt to creep in my heart. Soon the reports gained the currency that I was an atheist and did not scruple to drink or even frequent the houses of ill fame. This hardened my heart still more. When I thought perhaps Sri Ramakrishna would believe that, I was deeply wounded at heart. Never mind. If good and bad opinions of a man rests on such flimsy foundation, I don't care. In this miserable world, there's nothing reprehensible in a man who, seeking for a brief respite, should resort to anything. Not only that, if I am once convinced of the efficacy of such a course, I shall not, through the fear of anybody, shrink from following it. When one of his favorite disciples said to him with tears in his eyes,
মশাই, নরেন যে এমন হবে এ আমি স্বপ্নেও ভাবতে পারিনি।
চুপ কর শালা। মা বলেছেন সে কখনো ওরকম হতেই পারে না। আর কখনো ওসব কথা বললে তোদের মুখ দেখবই না। মা,
and I was amazed to hear that. Sri Ramakrishna was the only person who, ever since he met me, believed in me uniformly throughout. Even my own mother and brothers did not do so. It was unflinching trust in me and love that bound me to him forever. One day when my master met Ananda Guha, he said to him, "Narendra's father has died and his family is in a state of great privation. It will be good if his friends help him now with some money." After Ananda had left, I scolded him. He wept and said, "Naren, alas, for your sake, I could beg from door to door." He tamed me by his love. Yet, I fought so long, my 6 years fight. আমার ইচ্ছা হয় সুখদেবের মতো 5-6 দিন ক্রমাগত একেবারে সমাধিতে ডুবে থাকি, তারপর শুদ্ধ শরীর রাখার জন্য খানিকটা নিচে নেমে এসে আবার সমাধিতে।
তুই এত বড় আধার, মুখে ওই কথা। আমি ভেবেছিলাম কোথায় তুই একটা বিশাল বট গাছের মতো হবি, তোর ছায়ায় হাজার হাজার লোক আশ্রয় পাবে। তা না হয় তুই কিনা নিজের মুক্তি চাস।
was what held me. I saw his marvelous purity. I felt his wonderful love. His greatness had not dawned on me then. All that came afterwards, when I had given him.
আমি এসব পারবো না।
তুই করবি না, তোর ঘাড় করবে।
I fought my master for 6 years with the result that I know every inch of the way. Every inch of the way. Then came the sad day when our old master died. I went there when I was about 16. Some of the other boys were still younger, some a little older. When my master left his body, we were a dozen penniless boys and unknown boys. But together, we conceived that this ideal had to be spread. We shall begin a universal religion here and now. We will not wait. We will show the spirituality of the Hindus, the mercifulness of the Buddhists, the activities of the Christians, and the brotherhood of Muhammadans by our practical lives. We had no friends. Who would listen to a few boys with their crank notions? Nobody. At least in India, boys are nobodies. Just think of it. A dozen boys telling people vast, big ideas and saying that they're determined to work these ideas in life. Against us were 100 powerful organizations struggling hard to nip us in the bud. Thus went on a band of boys. Everybody laughed. The only thing we got from those around us was a kick and a curse, that was all. Of course, we had to beg from door to door for our own food. Got a piece of bread from here and there. The refuse of everything. We got hold of a broken down building with hissing coal glass. Hissing underneath. And because it was the cheapest, we went into that house and lived there. Who would sympathize with us? None. None. Except one. That lady, Sri Ramakrishna's wife. Her sympathy brought blessings and hope. There have been days when the month was without a grain of food. If the rice was collected from begging, there was no salt to take it with. On some days there would be only rice and salt. Boiled timber leaves, rice and salt. This was the menu for a month at a stretch. 10 years were spent without a way of light. More years, with my health breaking all the time. One meal at 9 in the evening, another at 8 in the morning, another after 2 days, another after 3 days. I see no chances of success while remaining near Calcutta. In Calcutta live my mother and two brothers. Since my father's death, it is going very hard with them. They even have to go faster than times. To crown all, some of the relatives drove them away from the ancestral residence. That was cause of mutilation.
কি খুঁজছিস? ঘরেতে চাল বাড়ন তো বাবা, ওখানে খুঁজিস না। এই তো দাদা এলো বলে চাল আনবে, তরকারি আনবে, তখন আমি রান্না করে খাবো। দেখবি কি ভালো করে তোরা দুজনে খাবি। হ্যাঁ সত্যি রে বাবা, সত্যি। কত রান্না করে দেবো তোদের, কত সুন্দর সন্দেশ মিষ্টি দাদা আনবে, ওরা খাবে, পর দুজনে মিলে ঘুরতে যাবে।
I have seen this ideal man and yet failed myself to get on with anything to the end. This seems like a horrible mistake. No compromise is the watchword. This is the ideal and this has got to be carried out. If we meet the king, though we die, we must give him a bit of our minds. If the peasant, the same. My master used to say, laying his arm upon my shoulder, Naren, you are a hero. The very sight of you inspires me with courage. Amity. I leave this place before the night reaches you. I have my own plans for the future, and they shall be secret. That made me go from the Himalayas to the Cape Cameron, from Indus to Brahmaputra. Many a times I've been in the jaws of death, starving, footsore and weary. For days I had no food and could walk no further. It was true. I often used to sleep under the banyan tree with a bowl of rice given to me by a kindly peasant. But it is equally true that I was also a guest in the palace of a great Maharaja, and a slave girl was appointed to wave a peacock feather fan over me all night long. In the course of my wandering, I was in a certain place when people came to me in crowds and asked for instructions. Though it seemed almost impossible, people made me talk for 3 days and nights without giving me a moment of rest.
You should be ashamed of yourself. The youth of should write the history of their own country. The British have interpreted the history of our country according to their conveniences.
What India wants is somebody who can portray her in proper light. The glory of man is that he is a thinking being. It is the nature of man to think, and therein he differs from
ये
animals.
शास्त्र में बोला है ना, सहस्र शीर्षा पुरुषः सः।
Pandit, I have nothing whatever to do with ritual or dogma. They did not even ask me whether I had eaten.
Why do you tell the Maharaja?
Because I can't go.
Swami, you are a very sincere son.
Thank you. May God bless you. On the third night, when all visitors had left, a low-caste poor man came up to me and said,
स्वामी जी, हमने देखा है 3 दिनों से आपने कुछ खाया नहीं, पानी तक पी नहीं।
क्या आपके पास कुछ है खाने के लिए? Hearing this, the man shrank in fear. He was a subject of the Maharaja of Khetri and was afraid that if the latter came to hear that he, a cobbler, had given food to a sannyasi, he would be severely dealt with and possibly banished from the state. But out of kindness of his heart, even though he feared the consequences, he brought me the cooked food. I shed tears of love and gratitude and thought, thousands of such large-hearted men live in lowly huts, and we despise them as low caste and untouchables. That is why you see the lowest of the low in India holding the most exalted religious ideas. It is a practical want of intellectualization about life on this earth that they suffer from. I must tell you, there is a great hope for them because they are the most gentlest people on this earth. The best soldiers the English have recruited are from the peasantry of India. Death is a thing of no importance to them. They must have better piece of bread and better piece of rags on their bodies. If you rob them, tax them, murder them, do anything to them, they will be quiet and gentle. So long as you leave them free to practice their religion. Leave our liberty to worship our gods and take everything else. That is their attitude. When the British touch them there, the trouble starts. That was the real cause of the 1857 mutiny. They will not bear religious repression. My plan is to reach these masses of India. I traveled in search of funds in India. But do you think people in India were going to spend money? Many and many India could not understand me. How could they? Their minds never strayed beyond the everyday routine business of eating and drinking. I depended on no one in India. Gurudeva showed me the way out. The people at Madras, of their own accord, in conjunction with His Highness of Mysore, Ramnad and Khetri, made every arrangement to send me up here to America. Our country is poor in social virtues. So is this country, lacking in spirituality. I give them spirituality and they give me money. You may perhaps think, what utopian nonsense is all this? You little know what is in me. The Christian is not to become a Hindu or a Buddhist, nor a Hindu or a Buddhist to become a Christian. But each must assimilate the spirit of the others and yet preserve his own individuality and grow according to his own law of growth. If the Parliament of Religions has shown anything to the world, it is this. It has proved to the world that holiness, charity, and purity are not the exclusive possessions of any church in the world, and that every system has produced men and women of the most exalted character. In the face of this evidence, if anybody dreams of the exclusive survival of his own religion and destruction of the others, I pity him from the bottom of my heart and point out to him that upon the banner of every religion will soon be written, in spite of resistance, hell and not fire, assimilation and not destruction, harmony and peace and not dissension. Brother, we can get rid of anything but not this cursed jealousy. This is a national sin with us. As it pleased Lord, I met here with Mr. Mazumdar. He was cordial at first. But when the Chicago population began to flock to me in overwhelming numbers, then grew the cancer in his mind. Mazumdar slandered to the missionaries about me, saying that I was a cheat, a nobody, a thug. And he accused me of coming here and pretending to be a monk. The Fadris, they fabricated and circulated most horrible lies about me in this country. They spread many slanders by publishing them in the newspapers. And again in Calcutta, he's telling them that I am leading the most sinful life in America, especially unchaste. Lord bless him. I did not come to America for the sake of the Parliament of Religions. Who cared about the Parliament of Religions? I traveled 12 years all over India and finding no way to work for my countrymen. And that is why I came to America. I began lecturing in Chicago and other cities. Every week I had to deliver some 12 or 15 or even more lectures at times. I did not come to seek name and fame. It was forced upon me. And I am one man who did defend his country. And I have given them such ideas as they never expected from a Hindu. And our Hindu people did not even move a finger to tell the Americans that I represented them. And it's 1 year since I've been here. And not one man of word from India thought it fit to make the Americans know that I'm no cheat. A God man was born in India. He was the great Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And round him, this band of sannyasis slowly gathering. They will do the work. This requires an organization. Money, a little, at least to set the wheel in motion. So I crossed over to America. And our government could not even do so much for me as to say to the American people that I was a real sannyasi and no cheat. And I represented the Hindu religion. Even this much. The expenditure of a few words, they could not do. Bravo, my countrymen. My greatest fault is that I love my country only too well.
Swami? Swami, do Indian mothers really throw their babies to the crocodiles?
Yes, ma'am. They threw me in. But like your fabled Yona, I got out again. How many of you have read the sacred books of the Hindus and therefore have the first-hand knowledge of the religion? Please raise your hands. And yet, you dare to judge us? I'm a rather plain-spoken man, but I mean well. I want to tell you the truth. I'm not here to flatter you. That is not my business. If I wanted to do that, I would have opened a fashionable church in Fifth Avenue, New York. You are my children. I want to show you the way out of self to God by pointing out to you your errors, your defects, and your vanities. Everything that has selfishness as its basis, competition for its right hand, and enjoyment as its goal must die sooner or later. If you want to live, go back to Christ. Go back to Him who had nowhere to lay His head. Better be ready to live in rags with Christ than to live in palaces without Him. If I only had one man with some true abilities and brains to back me in India. I don't care what even my own people say about me in Calcutta, except for one thing. I have an old mother. She has suffered much all her life, and in the midst of all, she could bear to give some God and man. But to have given me up, the most beloved of her children, her home, to live a beastly, immoral life in a far distant country, as Vasundhara was telling in Calcutta, would have simply killed her. I was never a missionary, nor ever would be one. My place is in the Himalayas. I can with full conscience say My God, I saw terrible misery among my brethren. I searched and discovered the way out of it, tried my best to apply the remedy, but failed. So thy will be done. A huge locomotive has rushed on over the land. A small worm that was creeping on one of its rails saved its life by crawling out of the path of the locomotive. Yet, this little worm, so insignificant that it can be crushed in a moment, is little slither. While this locomotive, so huge, so immense, is only an engine, a machine. Every moment I expected something from India, though it never came. I was in torture at every moment. No, not even a newspaper from India. Waited months after month. Nothing came, not peace. It is a punishment for relying upon man. I committed a terrible error of calculating upon others' help once in my life, and I have paid heavily for it. I read my Bible better in the light of your book, and the dark prophecies of my religion become brighter when compared with those of your prophets. It was my fault. I have launched my boat in waves, come what may. Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapyavara, Nibhodaka. Through the vistas of the past, the voices of the centuries is coming down to us. The voices of the sages of the Himalayas and recluses of the forests. The voices that came down to the 70 races. The voice that spoke in the Detroit lecture. I got $900. That is 2,700 rupees. In other lectures, I earned in one $2,500, that is rupees 7,500 in 1 hour, but got only $200. I was cheated by a roguish lecture bureau. Only about $3,000 remains. I don't know what I'm going to do next. The Calcutta meeting held in the honor of 5th September 1894. The president was the chief nobleman of Calcutta, and the other man, Mahesh Chandra Nyayaratna, is the principal of Sanskrit College and chief of Brahmin Law of India. father, a mother. Never leaves a children. Never. Never. A good news after a long interval. They call me illustrious, wonderful, and all sorts of nonsense. But they forward to me the gratitude of the whole nation. I'm weeping like a child at his mercy.
Sorry. Swami.
I got vexed at getting hordes of newspapers. I had to write to them to stop sending those newspapers. Now they will write what I ate on such and such a date and I've always sneezed. It was all my fault. No other cigar. If people in India want me to keep strictly to my Hindu diet, then please tell them to send me a cook and money enough to eat. This silly bosses thought it might have helped make me laugh. And on the other hand, if the missionaries are telling that I have broken two vows of sannyasa, chastity and poverty, then tell them they're